welcome back to On Points, Derby Top 10 edition. Ed DeRosa alongside Joe Kristufek, back from New Orleans.
Yeah, back, and it was an adventurous 4 months. Will won the Lecomte, then he won the Risen Star, then he got banged up in the Louisiana Derby, which was won by a long shot, and by my standards, it's been kind of that kind of spring, I guess, so to speak. Lots of ups and downs, and we're getting close to Derby.
Well, and to speak to those ups and downs, just looking at our own top 10s, my number one is nowhere to be seen on your list, and your number one nowhere to be seen on mine. Now, admittedly, yours probably on a lot more lists. He just won the Florida Derby. I'm just not sold he can replicate that performance.
I'm not sold on anything in this crop right now. I mean, it's tough to be. Yeah, maximum security. I mean, yeah, people are going to say, oh, he broke his maiden for 16,000. Yeah. He got loose on the lead in the Florida Derby, which he did, but he found another gear. I thought he did so, got the job done impressively. New Year's Day, very relatively young sire that I think might be a little bit better than we think. So, yeah, you got to put somebody number one.
You do. And I have another twist of fate, total like you. I mean, who knows? But just feel like the price will be right when we have the future wager. I'm definitely looking forward to having a punt on him. Neither one of us gave too much of a long look to the UAE Derby, plus K Parfait getting the job done for Brendan Walsh. Regardless of what happens at Churchill, Joe, cagey move by Brendan to ship over there and get the dough.
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the plan due to the ownership, right? They were like, okay, well, things didn't work out in the Risen Star, UAE Derby, we've talked about it, let's just send him there. And they put blinkers on him. He got a perfect trip on the inside part of the track without taking any kickback, and a heady ride by Jose Ortiz. And he ran well. I thought the top two ran well, but it's really hard to put that in the context considering he was no match for the better horses in the Risen Star, right, which, you know, at this point in time, we really don't know what kind of read to get on that race, let alone the UAE Derby. So I'm still a little bit skeptical, but lots going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, a lot to digest. A lot's going to happen this week. We have 3 big prep races, coast to coast, really. Wood Memorial, Bluegrass, and hopefully the Santa Anita Derby as well. And then the Arkansas Derby and Lexington close it all out. But I really doubt, to be honest, in 2 weeks we're really going to have that much more of a sense than we do now.
One of the things I really like about this crop of 3-year-olds moving forward, and a lot can change obviously this weekend, we've seen that recency factor in our top 10 list with who has impressed us recently. Obviously the 2 divisions of the Rebel I thought were key races moving forward.
Agreed.
But last year I think we thought there were only 6 horses really that could win it, right? Maybe 8 if you were stretching out. You had a pretty good feeling for the upper echelon in the race. We don't have that same feel. So creativity, having a good opinion, watching the horses train up to the Kentucky Derby. We get to do the workout shows, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's just so much more wide open, and I think formulating your opinion is going to be that much more enjoyable, honestly.
Yeah, and Mike Penna pointed this out after the Florida Derby. We've had 24 points races, 23 individual winners. Only War of Will is repeated in a points race. Definitely speaks to the parity. And you mentioned last year, I agree, there was clearly this sort of upper echelon and then the next tier, and the race played out that way. It was a chalk trifecta, right. But, and I'm leading to this, Instilled Regard blew up the Super, $19,000 for $1, given who finished first, second, and third. Just incredible to me. I put the over-under at 29,000 this year. I've already had 2 takers on the under. What do you think?
I think over.
Yeah, I think it could be 6 figures this year.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the dollar minimum, man, it's just harder to hit it. It's harder to put enough money into the ticket to give yourself a reasonable chance with 20 horses and picking the top 4. We don't know who's going to be the favorite to win, let alone who's going to run forward. So you could get prices in all 4 slots.
Right.
Yeah, I think over. I'd take over for sure.
All right, I like it. Well, it's going to be a fun 33 days left to the Derby. As you said, our work show going to start much earlier than that. We still have some preps to get through. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Very important preps, and it'll be interesting to see if somebody takes that step where we say, wow, this is the horse to beat. Otherwise, we're going to be left wondering who the horse to beat is. And I kind of like it that way, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a welcome change. I mean, it's nice to have superstars and horses you kind of, put a peg in, so to speak, is the one to beat. But also fun to have a puzzle and know that if you get it right, you're going to get paid.
That's right. That's the line that we like to use, and it definitely applies to this year's Derby.
All right.